G'day, my fellow media collectors. I'm Troy, and I'm the comic book movie collector. And today we have my 5th anniversary show spectacular with Q&A and channel update. We've got so much to get through, so let's get into it. First off, before we get started, I just want to wish all of you out there a very safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope Santa brings you everything you want. Some really cool stuff. Maybe a whole heap of physical media. I don't know. Whatever you want. So yeah, I hope you have a great Christmas, and I can't wait for the new year. So yes, I can't believe this channel has hit 5 years now, which is pretty awesome, I think, which is probably about 4 more years than I thought it would. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, with your help, not only are we sitting at almost 1,200 subscribers, I am excited to say that with you, I got the 4,000 hours watch time I need. So yes, I am monetized.
Show me the money.
Now, before you say you must be rich, yeah, nah. For a small creator like me, I've only been monetized for just under 3 months now, and I'm only making about 15 bucks a month in ad revenue. So not enough to quit my job just yet.
Not yet, but I'm still hoping.
It's been a long 5 years of hard work and sacrifice, but I am super proud of the channel and where it has got to for such a very niche hobby that I thought at a time I was the only one who was into this. But it turns out all of you out there watching are into collecting comic book media as well. And I am thankful you all convene here at my channel to enjoy watching and talking about this very niche hobby that we love to enjoy.
It's for smart kids, not weirdos.
And speaking of thank yous, I would like to thank each and every one of you out there who watches this channel, as look, without you guys, there is no channel. But I always do like to give some special shout outs to some of my subscribers who just go above and beyond and have been just big supporters, collaborators, and just really good friends in general over these years. And it's just a small gesture from me to show my appreciation to each and every one of them. And first off, I would, in no particular order, I just want to shout out to a few of my fellow YouTubers first. And they are Rob over at Roberto Nero Superheroes, Del at Del on Movies, Tim over at Rage Ranting, and CG Anime Fan. Honestly, go check their channels out. They've all got great stuff. They all do similar stuff to me. Same but different. But yeah, definitely go and subscribe to all their channels and go check them out. They've all got great content, and I regularly watch all of their channels as well.
I'll have to check them out.
And of course, I want to have a shout out to some other special subscribers and really close friends that have been supporting this channel for a while now. And they are John, Kane, Nathaniel, Marty, William, XY Animations, and Legendary Ray 1032. I really appreciate all you guys with your friendship and support. It means the world to me. So for this video, I thought I would do a little Q&A session so you can get to know me a little bit better and a little bit more about what actually goes on with this channel, as I have a list of questions people have been interested in to know. They've asked me over all this time. So I will do that, and then I will get into a channel update and let you know what we've got planned for 2026. So with no further ado, let's get into the questions.
I have so many questions.
Okay, first question. How long have you been a comic book fan? Oh, geez. Oh. As far as superheroes, I have to say since I was 4, when I first got exposed to the Super Friends, I have a vivid memory when I was 4 running around preschool telling the school teacher that I was Green Lantern, but not able to tell her that I was Green Lantern. I was only 4, but I have a vivid memory of that. And then, of course, I also remember growing up as a kid, like watching the Super Friends, the 67 Superman, the 66 Batman, those type of stuff. They were a big influence on me as a kid. But as far as becoming a hardcore, like right in the trenches type comic book fan, it was about the time I turned 16. So I've been a big fan of this for about 34 years now. And that was when I purchased my first comic, which was Punisher 45. That was off the back of watching the Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren. I was a big action movie fan, and I was like, oh, this is a comic book, maybe I'll check it out. And of course, that was it. I was hooked. And then I bought a What If the next day that had the Punisher on it. I can't remember the number. I'll look it up and show you here. And then that was it. Once those 2 comics got into my once I bought those 2 comics, that it, I no looking back since.
Now this is my life.
Okay, do I collect comic books? Look, I did for many, many years. I had a very immense collection. I had 5,000 plus at one stage, I think at its height. And then I got married, kids, all that type of stuff. I kind of got out of that. Not because I got married and kids, but just your life changes and things change. So I kind of got out of collecting, and that's what kind of got me into this, actually, collecting movies and stuff. But I'd sold a lot of everything I had, but I kept my Spider-Man collection. So my Amazing Spider-Man collection I kept. That's pretty extensive. That's about what is it, 400 issues, 400 issues out of the 500 or something. Pretty extensive collection. I put a lot of years into that one as well. And I thought I'd show you just a couple of key issues that I have. I have a nice, this one's a little beat up, but that's a 31, one of the early ones. So that's like early 60s, that one. Only 3 years into the comic. Managed to pick that one up. Happy with that. This is a great one. This one's in really good nick. This is a second appearance of Craven. This one's actually worth a little bit of money. So is that one, but not as beat up as that. This one's in absolute top nick. Managed to pick that up for a steal. Very happy to have that one. I've got some other great key issues, but they're my earliest ones of Amazing Spider-Man. But I was able to get my holy grail, and I was a big Spider-Man collector and a very huge Punisher fan, because like Punisher was my first comic book hero. So you can imagine what would be my holy grail. Of course it is. It's the first appearance of Punisher, and yes, I did. There you go. First appearance of Punisher. This is probably around a 6 or a 7 if you're grading it. It's not super great, but it's in reasonably good nick. And yeah, what, $300-400 or whatever it's worth. So yeah, first printing, not a second, none of that reprint stuff. This is an OG copy. I managed to get this a few, 20 something years ago. So yeah, couldn't believe my luck to finally get that. But yeah, as far as collecting, no, I haven't collected a comic book in many years now.
Feels like that was a whole lifetime ago.
Okay, so what started your movie collection? Well, as you saw me say, it was the Punisher movie that got me into comics. Well, this is the Punisher movie that got me started with collecting. I used to have the VHS. I can't remember if I sold it, lost it, or gave it away when I moved. I've moved a couple of times, and yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit devo now that VHS is coming back to lose it. But yeah, anyway, I have it on DVD. I also got the Blu-ray, if you've seen my collection. It's not a great movie, but this was my inspiration. This is what got me into this stuff. And yeah, this is the movie that really, wow, shit. Sorry, I'm just having a moment because this is the movie that really changed the direction of my life. When I think about it, like this is the one that got me into comics and got me to where I am now. So if it wasn't for this movie, who knows what I'd be doing. But yeah, so this one is very sentimental to me, and this is probably the one that got my collection started. But as far as my first DVD is concerned, like I can't remember exactly my first DVD, superhero DVD I bought, but one of my earliest ones is, I've got it here as well, was this one. This was actually one of the earliest ones I bought, and then that's what got me started, the old 67 Spider-Man. That's when I was still collecting comics, so this is when DVDs just started to sort of hit, and I got myself a DVD player, and yeah, I remember getting, this is one of the earliest ones I can remember getting. Might have been another one or two movies, but for some reason this one sticks out.
I'm sorry, my memory isn't what it used to be.
How long have you been collecting comic book movies? Oh, geez. So, if my memory serves me right, it was roughly about 1998. Not long after they really started to hit the market, I remember buying myself a DVD player, which was, oh God, about $500, $600 at the time, whatever it was. They weren't cheap. So roughly about 27 years now, I've been collecting. You know, on and off. I wasn't too serious at the begin with because DVDs were so expensive. But I would say when it comes to this collection you see behind me, I would say really seriously, probably in the last 9 years is when this went from being just a few hundred to, well, you've seen it, nearly 1,200, or what with my other stuff, maybe about 1,500 DVDs. So yeah, probably about 1998, I think, is when I started.
Thanks for the history lesson.
How do you organise your collection? Oh, this is what I get asked a lot. And a lot of people, I know a few people have said to me that they just can't figure my system out. And I don't disagree. It's my system, and I guess a lot of people would find it harder to figure out. I know some people, I know most of you do like an alphabetical sort of system, A, B, C, D, and the like. But if you watch my collection video and see how it's all done, as I use this here, so I have my Marvel this side, I have my DC on this side, so I split them up into obviously the big two, Marvel, DC. Then I split them up into independent comics, so anything that's independent release. Then I have my superhero related, so something that never appeared in a comic book to begin with, that is superhero orientated, I put there. Then I have my documentaries, and I also have foreign stuff. So when I say foreign stuff, it's anything that is outside of the, I suppose I would say, English speaking category. So anything that appears in the US, Australia, or England, I usually put that in the normal stuff. That's, I suppose, by American standards, that is considered the mainstream, and anything outside of that, so stuff from Europe or Japan or those sort of countries, that becomes more the foreign stuff, I suppose. For me, I mean, it's not for you if you live there, but you get where I'm coming from. But then as far as how do I organise it and what sort of order, the best way I can describe it is I go off who has the most titles. So for instance, looking at my Marvel here, if you go across the top, which I think is just out of shot, Spider-Man has the most titles, and he's one of the biggest characters, so it nearly takes up a whole shelf. Then the next one is actually the Incredible Hulk has the most, and then it goes down to Iron Man, Captain America, which leads on to Avengers, Shield. Then we go into X-Men, they've got a massive lot, and it goes down like that. So then that's when you get down to these ones where it's like Blade's only got a couple, Deadpool, and then you go to the ones. Then we go to independents. So that's kind of how I do it. Now, one of my subscribers asked me about it and said that he would do something similar. So obviously someone out there seems to, it makes sense to them as well. Yeah, that's just how I organise it. Not the norm, but just the way I like to do it.
Man, this shit don't make no sense.
Okay, what's your most valuable DVD? Now, a mate of mine, Nathaniel, asked me this a while ago, and I had to have a think about it. And since I've been doing research for a future episode, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say this one, Superman Lives Doco. This is probably the most expensive one I own, value-wise. One, because it was a Kickstarter, limited release. The Blu-ray is worth more than the... I don't know if it's less Blu-rays than DVDs. Anyway, Blu-ray's worth more because the Blu-ray's got extra. So, funnily enough, out of all of this one is probably worth the most, monetary-wise, shall we say. I've got some others that are close. But then I also look at, if you're looking at a set, it's probably my, I'll grab it here, my Fast Forward Turtle set of 6. That's 500 plus. So for that set, same with my Tick collection, that's about 500 bucks for those 3 DVDs. So yeah, it depends. I'll try and get that in there. It depends, but individually, I would have to go with this one. This is probably the most expensive one I've got.
I'm rich, bitch.
What is your most prized collection piece? Ooh. Well, other than having that expensive Superman Lives one, I would say prized as in what is the most value to me, I suppose, is sentimental value and stuff. And that definitely has to be this one. This not only is expensive, but is also very sentimental. Love this one. 66 Batman 2, I suppose, to a degree. But the other one is, I've only just grabbed one here, but my complete Super Friends collection. That is mega sentimental. Supermental. Some people say I'm supermental. Sentimental at times. That complete collection. Like I said, so many childhood memories, and you know, probably one of the reasons why I'm doing this as we speak. So as far as like valued pieces to me, gotta be these ones, I reckon.
That's what you're going with?
What is the most wanted DVD for your collection? Oh, my most wanted one. Yes, it's gotta be the original Japanese proper release of the Spider-Man TV show from the 70s that they did over in Japan, the Toei series. That one, oh god, like that's somewhere around the $2,000 to $3,000 mark to buy. It's just that super rare, and that would probably take as my most valuable, obviously, if I ever got it. But that would be a prize piece in my collection. Yeah, an original. You can get bootlegs everywhere and the like, but as far as an original release, that is the only release that I know of, is this Japanese release. So that would be my most wanted in the collection.
I want it so bad.
What is the most wanted DVD for release? What would I like to be officially released? Well, I think personally for me is the other 70s Spider-Man, and that's the one with Nicholas Hammond. That was the Spider-Man I grew up on as a kid, watching that TV show on reruns and those movies back in the day. We used to hire out on VHS. But yeah, I would love for them to do the TV show in a box set, and then the movies, do the 3 movies in a box set or separate, however you want to do it. But they need official release. That's a given. And of course, you know me, I've been harping on about this, and I even did a video about it. There's a petition out there to get the Corman Fantastic Four movie released as well. That needs to get an official release. That's just a huge injustice that that thing hasn't been finished and released. So yeah, I would have to say, out of all of them, there's a lot of others which I'm actually going to do a video about next year. Some of the most wanted releases, so keep an eye out for that. But for me personally, those are the 2 big ones.
An injustice of astronomical levels.
What are your tips for collecting DVDs? Oh, right. Well, here's the techniques I used. So I know a lot of you do thrifting. Thrifting is really good. So if you know where you can get secondhand stuff from, I've got a few places around that I visit on the regular. Always do Actually, that's probably the biggest tip, is do things regularly, because if you don't, you will miss out. So go check your secondhand joints. They're usually a great place to pick up stuff. Obviously, if you've watched any of my collection updates, eBay is the place. Amazon, it's a second. Amazon's good, but more for the newer stuff. I definitely get a lot of my newer stuff from Amazon, but definitely if you're looking for that hard to get stuff, eBay is the place. What I do is I set up my watch list, and I set up regular saved searches in the what's his name. So I have a list of like 50, 60 saved searches just at the moment. I'm always adding, so I check them on the regular. So I would check them at least 3 to 4 times a week. I will check most of those listings if I'm looking for something in particular, because I guarantee you, if you don't check on the regular, you will miss something that comes up. Some of these, honestly, if I wasn't checking on the regular, I would have missed them. So that's the thing, regular checks. Put aside some time, check those. Like I said, I do it in between jobs or work or my breaks or things like that. Always use that little bit of spare time you have to do your regular checks on your items that you're looking for, and you may catch that good buy. Also, with your search tips, one is not necessarily just go with the search results. So what I'm saying is, if you are looking for, okay, we'll take this one for instance. Where is he? There he is, Silver Surfer. So the story behind this one, you've heard me say how I picked this up for like 10 cents. How did I find this one? I wasn't searching for Silver Surfer, funnily enough. Don't necessarily do a search that just says Silver Surfer. So for instance, for this one, I picked this up on a search for superheroes. Yeah, so someone just went superhero DVDs. That's how they listed it. It was in amongst another pack of 5 or 6 DVDs just all in together, and I saw him just sticking out and put a bit on it. No one else was looking for it. No one else checked it because no one was looking for it in the right directory. So I have a superhero list. I have a Marvel list. I have a DC list I check. I have graphic novels. So look for different search terms, that because not everyone is a comic book fan, so they're not necessarily going to list it as that. So my tip to you is try a few different titles for like searching. And like I said, I picked this up on for 10 cents in superheroes, no less. Because I guarantee you, if you try to look under Silver Surfer and find it, you are looking at 120 to 150 plus. But I found one sneaking in the superhero listings. So yes, that is my biggest tip.
Oh, hot tip. Thanks, y'all.
What else do you collect? Well, a lot of you do know what else I collect. But one of my main collections that I've been collecting since I was 6 or 7 is Master of the Universe. You know, I'm a big Master of the Universe fan. I've got a massive collection there. If you look at my 201 I did a few years ago, you'll see that collection in there. Next off is my superpowers. I have no OG superpowers stuff from back in the day. I really wish I did. I loved it back when I was a kid, but just never got it. I think I was too focused on Master Universe. But later on, now that I have disposable cash, I've collected all the superpowers that McFarlane released, and it's become I'm just looking over it there, pretty good collection that I'm proud of. And of course, you know, I'm getting into the Super Friends at the moment, which I'm super stoked to finally get. It's finally a Super Friends collection that I can get behind. They've released odds and ends over the years, but never like a full release like this. So this is where I'm really hitting my stride with this one. And I also collect WWF or WWE Hasbros, just the Hasbros. I do have a couple of LNJs for anyone who actually knows the different wrestling figures. And these are ones from my childhood. So yeah, the late 80s. the early 80s of the LNJs, and then later they did the Hasbros, and the Hasbros have always been my favourite. So I've got a decent collection of old ones and some of the newer WWE retro releases. I've got the fair whack of them. And, you know, I collect the odd pop vinyls, mostly Master Universe, funnily enough, yes. And I also collect, I'm a big fan of the Super Juice, which, I don't remember, that's their logo there. I collect their CDs, so I've been collecting their CDs for years. Odds and ends, rarities, promos, this, you name it. I've got a pretty extensive collection, which I'm actually thinking of doing a video of at some stage as well. I know it's not up everyone's alley, but it's definitely something I reckon some fans of this band, which is an Australian band, may get a kick out of, and really would like to go through it and show off the collection. But yeah, that's pretty much what I really collect.
So, money well spent.
So, what are my plans for next year? Well, I am thinking of doing more interviews with directors and actors and things like that. I'm starting off smallish and hopefully going to work my way up. That's what I'm planning to do. Try and get some more interviews, or trying to get interviews. I'm going to go down that route and see what I can do there. And I'm also going to try and do some more assorted content, so not just reviews. Last year I pretty much just stuck with reviews, then I started throwing in a couple of toy reviews, as you've seen, and then I did my Oz Comic Con one, which was really fun and I really enjoyed, and a lot of you really enjoyed it and wanted to see more of it. Rob from Roberto Nero Superhero said it was good to see you in a different light, and I was like, well, that's really cool. So yeah, I intend to do a few more of them. Like, I'm definitely going to go to the Comic Cons this year, and, you know, like I said, hopefully do some interviews. So that's what I have planned for next year.
I have plans. Important plans.
So yeah, as far as next year goes, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I have planned for next year. So some of these they are solid, they are clamped in, they are going to happen. Some not so much. They are placeholders in case I get, as I said, interviews or whatever else, and some other stuff I'll put in. It'll just be extra on top of this. So yeah, so what do we get to it? So
In January.
as you know, at the start of every year I do the video that most of you love watching, and it always gets the most views, and that is my complete collection update for the year, and that will be out on the 4th of January. So put that in your calendar. I know a lot of you really enjoy watching that video. My collection just keeps getting bigger, and that video just keeps getting longer. And of course, once I get that complete collection up, you know, I'll have the edited down versions of my Marvel and DC collections the next week, so you don't necessarily have to watch them if you don't want to, because that'll be on the complete collection. But the amount of people that want to watch either my Marvel or just DC side of things, that's why I create those separate videos. Then I may have a week off after that because of how much work goes into those videos. I usually take that week off. Then I may, yeah, I'm just trying to do a rough calculation, but I will do one review, and that is the Spider-Man 66 series. Yes, that's right, I'm gonna do that one. I did promise that at the end of actually around now I was supposed to do it, but I've had a couple of weeks off trying to get some other stuff done, and yeah, I'm looking to use up my reviews a little bit. So this one's going to be my first one, and I know it's one a lot of you would like to see. So yes, Spider-Man 66 will be in January.
February.
I am going to start a series where this, for me, this is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I am going to review every season of the Super Friends. But I'm not going to do them in a row. I'm going to break them up and do them every month. So the start of every month this year, if you like your Super Friends, I am going to do the Super Friends. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. I wanted to sit back and watch every episode of the Super Friends as an adult. So I I can get in and live some nostalgia this year, and it's something I've wanted to do. And yeah, so if you're into the Super Friends, strap yourself in. Well, I'm going to go through every season. So obviously, Super Friends season 1 will be first cab off the rank. Then I'm going to do Batman and Me, a review, which is a documentary about Batman. Now, the guy who did that documentary lives here in Australia, so I'm actually going to reach out and see if I can get him for an interview. So I'm hoping that'll happen. I have a connection that knows this guy, so which is funnily enough. So I may be able to get an interview. So fingers crossed that happen. If not, I will put some other Batman content in there. I'll do another Batman review. I don't know what, but I'll find something.
March?
We're going to start the month off with Super Friends Season 2, and then I'm going to do the Hulks. This is one I've been wanting to do for a while. So we're going to start off with Hulk 1982. Really keen to see that one. I vaguely remember that as a kid. And then we're going to hit the Hulk 96 Season 1 and Season 2 straight after it. I can't say I ever really watched it back in the day, the 96 series. But yeah, I felt like if I'm going to do the 82, let's back it up with the 96. So yes, really keen to get into those.
April.
So for April, I'm going to do Super Friends Season 3 at the start of the month. And then we're going to follow up with some Phantom. Now, I'm super keen to sit down and watch The Phantom 1996 again. I know a lot of people aren't overly a big fan of it, but I didn't mind it back in the day, and I'm hoping to see how it stands up. Then I'm going to follow it up with The Phantom 2009 TV movie. That one I haven't seen. It's a bit of a rejig of the OG. So, curious to see if that is any good. So, that's April.
May!
And May brings us Super Friends Season 4, Hero High, the complete series, Henchmen movie, and the Next Avengers movie. Now, I did have Hero High, Henchmen, and Next Avengers planned for last year, but I kind of felt that was going to be a placeholder, and it kind of was. It got bumped really quick when I had some other stuff come up. So I am hoping to get into these. There's some really good stuff there. I'm curious to get into Hero High. I kind of knew of it, but never actually remember watching it. Henchmen looks interesting, and the Next Avengers, that also looks interesting too. So we'll give them a check out in May. June brings us Super Friends Season 5, Comic Book Movie, The Movie, and Comic-Con A Fan's Hope. So Comic Book The Movie, had a mate of mine, Nathaniel, recommend to watch that. It's got Mark Hamill in it. I know of it, but I haven't actually watched it. So I thought, bugger it, why not? I'll give that a watch. And then also the Comic-Con A Fan's Hope is the Morgan Spurlock doco about Comic-Cons. I thought that would be a great one to follow up because I'm keen to see that as well. So that is June.
July.
So July brings us Super Friends Season 6. Then I was thinking of doing The Rocketeer. I haven't seen that for so long. And The Mighty Mightor, which you've probably seen me get recently. That is a great Hanna-Barbera one that I'm super keen to watch. So yeah, I can't wait to sit down and watch those ones.
August.
And August, we finally get to Super Friends Season 7. And this one's going to be a Teen Titans month. We're going to have Teen Titans Go to the movies, Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, and Teen Titans Go Mayhem in the Multiverse. This month's for me because I love the Teen Titans Go. So I can't wait to sit down and do a bit of a Teen Titans review. So yes, real keen to sit down and have some fun with the Teen Titans Go. September. That brings us to Super Friends Season 8. We're nearly at the end. And I'm going to do a bit of a manga month. So we're going to do Battle Angel Alita and Ghost in the Shell. But I'm not going to do the original animes. I am going to do the big budget movies. So yes, Battle Angel Alita. The, what was his name? I forget the director. It'll come to me in a minute. Rodriguez? Yes, God, I can't remember his name. Him and, of course, Ghost in the Shell, the Scarlett Johansson movie, which I've heard is a dog of a movie, but I'm still going to give it a watch. I never got to see it in the cinemas, so keen to give it a watch and see how badly they do it, I suppose. I don't know, but we'll give them a watch.
October.
Okay, October brings us to the end of the Super Friends run, and that is Super Friends Season 9. Yes, we finally get there, so that'll take us most 3/4 of the way through the year doing the Super Friends. The next one I'm going to do is one that I've really wanted to watch. That is Adam West Naked, which is a sit-down interview with Adam West with some other behind-the-scenes stuff, odds and ends. Really want to give that one a watch. You know me, big 66 fan, so sit down and see Adam West talk about his career. I'm going to find that super interesting. Hopefully you will too. And then I'm going to follow that up with Batman the 1943 serial. As you know, every year I try and do one of these old-timey serials. I did the Shazam one last year, and before that I've done the Phantom, I've done Spy Smasher. I love watching these old-timey serials. They're really good, and I've really been keen to watch the Batman one. So going to watch the first Batman serial this year, and maybe next year I'll do the Batman and Robin serial that was 45, a couple of years after. So yeah, super keen to watch that. That's going to be a great Batman month. November. So this is going to be Crow month. I promised you this last year, and yeah, unfortunately it got bumped due to other reasons. You know, like I said, things happen. So hopefully we'll knock this one over this November, and I'm really keen to watch how bad. Literally every one of these Crows is going to be terrible. I'm really putting myself in. Really putting myself out here for you guys. So anyway, I'm super keen to watch them. And that is The Crow, City of Angels, Crow, Salvation, The Crow, Wicked Prayer, and The Crow from 2024, which I haven't got yet, but I will endeavour to make sure I have a copy before November. Fingers crossed. December! Okay, and then of course that brings us to the end of the year, which I will have my 6-year anniversary show to kind of go through everything again, let you know what's going on. I'm trying to think up what I'm going to do for that 6th anniversary show. Maybe I'll do a tour, something else. We'll see what happens. And then I'm going to do, which next video, I'm going to do this as a regular one now, and that is my most collectible for 2027. So do my research, sit down and let you know what is the most collectible for the coming year and what you should be looking out for. So that'll be that. And then of course comes my best and worst of 2026, which is becoming an annual thing now. My best and worst is coming up soon for 2025. My good mate Dell is joining me yet again, and I'm sure Dell will be more than happy to join me for the 2026 review as well. So look forward to that.
I didn't think this would take so long.
So there you have it. That's what we're going to do this year. I hope that Q&A was interesting for you. You got to know me a little better and my motivations and history and all that type of stuff. Hopefully I've answered the questions you've been keen to find out about. And yeah, so that's it. So we are looking big and better for next year. So onwards and upwards, as they say. So I'm super keen for next year. There's going to be some great stuff, and hopefully I'll have a few surprises for you over the year too. I've got a few ideas of stuff I want to try and do over the year. Like I said, some of those things are placeholders for the time being in case some other things come through. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen next year, you never know. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. As I said, thank you to all you, because this channel would not exist without you. So thank you yet again. Have a good Christmas and New Year's, and I will see you in my next video. Next week on the show, we have my video of my most collectible DVDs for 2026. So make sure you tune in for that one. Thanks for watching.